I'm glad you joined me today. I'm going to be showing you how to make Mama's stuffing. It is outstanding. It's the only stuffing that I like. It is your old-fashioned bread cubes with celery and onions and lots of butter and fresh herbs. So why don't I get us started and show you how Mama would make the stuffing. Okay, she would start with just taking loaves of white sandwich bread. You can use whatever kind of bread you want. Sourdough bread works great, even baguette or any kind of bread you might have left over and have put in the freezer. But today I'm using 1.5 packages or 1.5 loaves of sandwich bread. And I have had these sitting out for a little bit to get stale, but what I'm gonna do is cut these in cubes and put them into the oven at about 250 degrees for anywhere from about 15 to 20 minutes. What I want is I want the outside to form a little crusty and the inside to still be a little soft, but to lose some of its moisture. So let's get those going. I will leave the crust on. And the size of your cubes is not real important. Some people like to leave their cubes bigger. Others want them smaller, but you don't want them too small. And then here we go, getting the cubes. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of these on my own. Now spread your breadcrumbs out on a baking sheet and put them in the 250-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Keep a close eye on them. And you'll want to stir them a little because like mine, are kind of double stacked. Or you could use several baking sheets to make sure they get some air space. Now, while our bread cubes are getting crispy, let's work on some of our herbs. I'm going to use some of my fresh thyme here and just cut some off. I want to chop up enough to get about 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme. I love having fresh herbs around. This thyme has been great because its stems are very tender, and that way I don't have to pull the leaves off of it. I can just use it, use the stems too, chop them up. Okay. I can tell I need to sharpen this knife. I'm not real good at keeping my knife sharp. Now I want to do my parsley. And I have a parsley plant also. So let's cut off some parsley. Cut them like this and then I'll fix my plant later. Now, flat leaf parsley would be a little more ideal, but I do not have it, so we're going to use the curly and make do. All right, let's finally chop this. Okay, looking good. Okay, let's go check our bread cubes and see if they're getting crisp. Now, let's get our butter melted. We want a full stick of butter, or 1 cup of butter. My stick is 1 cup. That's 16 tablespoons. Of course, I've got to use the Kerrygold. Now the butter's not all the way melted, but it is heated up. So I'm going to go on and add about 1 cup of onions chopped. And we want to cook these in the butter to let them soften some. I also have about 3 stalks of celery that I've chopped in small pieces, and we want to tenderize that also. And that's about 3/4 a cup. I do like onion, so could reduce the amount of onion if you're not a big onion fan, but it really does add to the flavor. Now let's let these cook up until they're slightly tenderized. So I'm going to add my herbs and spices. First, I'll add the thyme that we chopped. Fresh thyme. You could also use dried thyme, but the fresh always tastes so much better. And I would reduce it down to 1 tablespoon of dried. And there, parsley. Again, you could use dried parsley. Then I did not have the fresh sage. If you do, use about 2 tablespoons of it. I've got about a tablespoon of dried. And now about a teaspoon of salt. And about a teaspoon of pepper, freshly ground. Now my cubes are ready. You should make sure you've kept a close eye on those. You don't want them to get too crunchy. Now I'm going to take my baking dish and I'm going to take some of the butter from our skillet where we were melting our butter, and I'm just going to spread it on the bottom of this baking dish because I want our dressing to get crispy with that buttery flavor, and that butter will help it to become crispy, but it also will keep it from sticking. Okay, that looks good. Now I've got my breadcrumbs in this big bowl, and I'm going to take our onion and celery, buttery onion and celery, and stir that into our breadcrumbs. So let's spread this throughout. Let it moisten our breadcrumbs, or our bread cubes, so we keep calling them crumbs. This is going to shrink down as they become moist. We don't want them mushy though. Okay, when that's gotten spread pretty thoroughly through the cubes, let's start adding our chicken broth. Now, chicken bone broth is the top #1 favorite, but I have chicken stock, that would be your second favorite, and chicken broth also works well. Okay, so here we go. Let's add the chicken stock. I've got 4 cups to add. But I'm going to do it gradually because I don't want it to get too soaked. So let's see how that is. Oh, Darby's having fits. Well, it definitely can handle more. So add some more. So we've added about 2/3 of it now. And we need more. Okay, still a little bit left in there. We want it moist, but we don't want it too moist. Okay, you can't start much more or my cubes are going to lose their shape, and I don't want that. Okay, let's let that sit there for a minute, soak that up. And I'm going to go get my pan. Okay, now your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's put our stuffing into the dish. Now this could also go in the turkey. I tend to not stuff my turkeys though. Now I would expect this to serve about 6 to 8 people. If you're having a large group, you would want a big casserole and double that recipe or even triple it. Well, Darby has come in to see if I've dropped anything on the floor, and he's going to be happy to see that I did drop some bread cubes. Okay, let's spread that out. Okay, it's ready to go in the oven. We're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes or until it's nicely browned and warmed in the center. If you like yours a little drier and crispier like I do, you might leave it in for about 40 minutes. Just watch it and pull it out when it meets your needs. Yum, this looks really good. Now I kept mine in the oven for 40 minutes. I do like my dressing or my stuffing a little drier. So if you like yours really moist, you might want to take it out after 30. Okay, let's serve this up and see what it tastes like. Well, we're ready. Let's give this a taste and see how it tastes to how it came out. Since I like mine crunchy on the top, let's get some of that top. Yes. I've got the crunch on the top, the buttery flavor, and the herbs are perfect in it. It is very moist in the center. This is nice and moist, so it's not like it's dried out, but it does have that crispiness on the top. I don't want to stop. So if you enjoyed this video, please join me for other videos. I will be making more. Like tonight I have my air fryer chicken that I used mayonnaise and breadcrumbs and cooked in the air fryer. And I have some fresh lima beans that I cooked with country ham. So we've got a delicious meal here. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. See you soon. Bye now. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and click the like button. Thanks so much. Bye now.